Hello, welcome back to Income Overseas. My name is Hannah. If you're just joining for the first time, you're welcome. It's good to have you here. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, it's good to have you back. Thank you for always tuning in with us. So today, we'll be proceeding to the part two of the previous lesson we had on crafting best-selling cookbook titles and content. So this was the last video on that topic, and we couldn't proceed because of the length of the video. I didn't want it to be so long and boring, and that is why it will be I'm putting it in parts, right? So if you haven't yet, please kindly go and watch this part one before proceeding to this very one. If you haven't already watched the part one of this tutorial, please go back to watch it so that we are on the same page. Thank you so much. So before we proceed, so in the last lesson we stopped at the table of contents generation. So we've generated the title, we've selected our titles and other keywords that we could utilize from the titles we got from other authors book that are already ranking, and then we proceeded to the table of content. So shortly we'll be going back to that table of content we originally generated in the previous lesson, so we can continue from where we stopped. But before then, I want to quickly address a question that was asked under this video regarding the keyword air fryer. The person asked if it's okay to repeat air fryer in the backend keywords. So and I said yes, it is okay to repeat air fryer. So why we say repeating keywords in your backend is not allowed or is not a good practice, it didn't mean that you cannot repeat the word, a particular word in your keyword, in the backend keyword, not a phrase, not a long tail keyword, but the exact, that the word itself. So what I mean is, let's quickly proceed to this list of keyword he was referring to. You see, the first one is, these are the 10 keywords we generated based on the subtitles we got from the, if you were in the last if you watched the last lesson, you'd understand. So here is easy air fryer recipe, healthy cooking, quick air fryer meal, beginner cookbook, simple air fryer recipes, delicious meal, beginners air fryer cookbook. So he asks if it is okay to have air fryer in every of the keywords that will be going to the back end, like the keyword phrases. And I said the answer is yes. And this is because air fryer is an appliance, right? The air fryer is a tool, is an appliance, is a kitchen appliance that that we use, right? And so if you are making a recipe book on air fryer, you cannot possibly come and use air fryer in one keyword, and then in the next one you decide to use something else, like maybe stamps, and they is not related, right? So what you cannot do is having air fryer cookbook for beginners, air fryer cookbook for different, they just keep repeating the same phrases, maybe air fryer cookbook for beginner, air fryer cookbook for kids, air fryer cookbook for, the same, in the same pattern, right? Having the phrases in the same pattern. But in this case, those long tail keywords, we have different long tail keywords, but then air fryer is reflecting in all of them, because that's the main keyword. Someone that wants to buy an air fryer recipe book, either young or old, male or female, will come online and come and search, let's say, quick and easy air fryer cookbook for beginners, or a low budget air fryer cookbook, or air fryer cookbook for teenagers, or air fryer cookbook for seniors, any of those search term. But the thing is, anybody coming to buy a cookbook on air fryer would definitely include air fryer in their search terms. And what are backend keywords? Backend keywords are other words or phrases that your intending buyers will search for, right, when they want to come online to buy a particular product, book, or whichever product you're selling. So those keywords, those words they'll come and type or search for in the search bar, are what you're expected to put at your back end. So how do you do this? You have to think like a buyer yourself. If you are coming online to buy an air fryer cookbook, what will you type when you come online? Either on Google or on Amazon, what will you type? Probably likely, if you are someone that don't have patience, you can say quick and easy air fryer recipe cookbook. If you're someone that is thinking of a low budget kind of recipe, you can come and say low budget air fryer cookbook. But the thing is that air fryer has to be there. So no, now we have two search phrases: quick and easy air fryer cookbook. Then we have low budget air fryer cookbook. These are two different things. Search terms. So now, if Mr. A come to search for quick and easy low air fryer cookbook, that's the first keyword. That's the first phrase, the first search term. Then Mr. B comes and search for low budget air fryer cookbook. That's another term. So that means I can put two of those terms in my back end, and then more of them I can think of. What else can I think of? Effortless air fryer cooking cookbook. So now we have cooking healthy, anything at all, flavorful, healthy. Maybe you think, let me add healthy, so that only the healthy people that have healthy recipes in their book will pop up, because that's how buyers think, right? You have to think like a buyer yourself. It's psychology. It's just, you just have to think like a buyer. Healthy air fryer cookbook for beginners or for adults or for teen or for age. Nutritious, you that maybe someone that likes anything that is nutritious, you come and say nutritious air fryer meals recipe book or anything like that. But the thing is, nobody is looking for air fryer cookbook will come online and search for any other tool or any other keyword apart from air fryer, and then probably add other words to it. Do you understand? Based on their own understanding. So that is why you can have it. If you go, if you can go to the add back end, just go, like you want to set up a campaign, go to the custom ads, and then go to the keyword kind of the keyword ad and campaigns and the likes. The keyword, I think, what's the name? Just go for the one that you can put the keywords yourself, the manual keyword, right? So when you go and type for the main keyword, which is air fryer, if you are going to add keywords, they'll give you suggestions of other search terms that has air fryer. But the thing is, air fryer will be in all those search terms for it to even pop up for you as the keyword. And then if you now start clicking on them, selecting the ones you want, and based on your bid. So if it's not right to use it, then why would they be giving us keywords or search term with air fryer for our ads? Do you understand? So those search terms has to include, because you're writing a book on air fryer, it has to include air fryer. So that is why it is not wrong to repeat air fryer in your search term or search phrase for your back end keywords. So that means having air fryer in all these keywords, it is not bad. Is the main thing. Imagine if you're writing a cookbook for a diabetic patient, right? I will come and say cookbook for high pressure. No, you have to be carry diabetic in the search term or phrase, because FI is a main keyword in these phrases, and it has to be there. That otherwise your the keyword it may not do what is intended to do. I know you will say, because FIR is already in the title, then if you ignore it, after all, the algorithm will still match it, will still mix and match. Then can I just ignore the FIR and just say simple recipe delicious meal or quick meal for beginner? Then yes, you may want to do that, but then having just one FIR in your keyword, how sure are you that that is enough to rank you? If somebody come and search for, why wouldn't you just impute other search terms? That's the main reason for putting keywords, is because you want to put enough search terms that customers are going to search for when you're looking for your book. I think you should this should have answered the question. For anybody that is still finding it's difficult to understand why it is not wrong, why I feel, no, this is my own opinion, I don't know about others, but I have used this method and it works for me. I've never had issue with it, so I feel it is not wrong to do that, to have air fryer, which is your main keyword. So it's not wrong to have any of those keywords, main phrases in your back end. um so I think that answered the question. So to proceed, so the last lesson we had, the part one of this, we were able to copy out the table of content we generated for this particular book. We're using as sample the air fryer cookbook for beginners, 30 days of easy and delicious recipes for healthy cooking at home. Yes. So yeah, I was going to say, we were going to proceed to the asterisk, this special character that comes with your copied content from ChatGPT. So we said, I mentioned that we could just find and replace, to bulk replace them, right? So this is what we're doing now. We just copy this asterisk you want to remove, though we'll be having more asterisks in the other content. So but let's just start with this so that our table of content can be clean, right? So you go to find and replace, you paste this double asterisk without spacing before or after, because if you have spaces before or after, they makes it different, because there are no spaces in between the asterisks and the words you want to remove the asterisk from. So you come there and say search, it already searched it, and then you want to now um replace it replace all, where it all the asterisk that are occurred, all the places where this asterisk are occurred in the document. So you just say replace with nothing. Just don't put anything here, just leave it without anything, then you say replace all. So that will remove all the asterisk and replace it with nothing. And then then we are able to clear all this asterisk we have. So now we can proceed to start our content generation. Don't forget, after this last recipe, we want to have a conclusion. Right? So we want to do page break for each of this chapter section. So the first, we have the introduction section before the recipe, breakfast recipe. We want to have a page break. I like to make my work have structure from the start so that I'm not confused, and it makes it very easy for me to know where I stopped and where I'll be continuing from when I come back to the document. So we're including page break in every section. We have the after the introductory part, we have the breakfast recipes, then another page break in between the breakfast and the lunch, then another one will be coming in between the lunch and dinner page break, and then we'll now come to the conclusion and then put a page break. I'm sure that is clear. And now the next thing we want to do, we have a table of content. We want to start generating our content. I'm so excited. So we come to our guess our prompts document, where we have the prompts I've been using, and you can also utilize to generate your own content. And then the first prompt you have is to utilize it to get the table of contents, then to introduce what you're doing, and then second prompt is the table of content. Now let's proceed to prompt 3, which is now let's go ahead to write the introduction in an engaging, educative, and descriptive tone. Because it's a cookbook, it needs to be engaging to the audience, needs to be educative because they want to learn, and it needs to be descriptive because they are explaining how to do something, how to make a meal. So you say maybe 1 tablespoon of this and that, you have to be descriptive. So it's very important to state your tone and style. So we head over to chat gpt from our last chart history. This is where we stopped, table of content, and then we want to say let's start now. Let's go ahead to write the introduction and engaging, and so let's just send this prompt. So don't forget, the prompt there's no one way fit all for this prompt. It doesn't mean that you should use the exact way I'm using it. If your own responses is not syncing with the prompt I'm giving, try to tweak your prompt to fit the response you got, so that you're not generating something um, that is not the way it should be. That is not fluent. There's no fluency, and you understand. You just have to make sure that everything you're using is corresponding. So it's introduction. Welcome to the Canary Adventure. Very short form, very short run. Giving it your guide to success. Giving subheadings. I don't like my introductions to have subheadings like this broken into pieces. So I'll just say just okay. We can decide to use a table of contents, right? These are other ways you can just tweak this thing. So let's go to our table of contents and then pick from it. Let's say introduction to air frying. So let's copy this very one and use it. Introduction to air frying. So let's copy this and give it, and let's be specific. You get what I'm trying to um say. So we'll go back to this prompt, we edit it, and so now let's go ahead to write the introduction and engaging, and then let's paste the introduction. So introduction, let's paste the subheading we want you to write on so that it has direction. Introduction to health, and you can see this is much better. It's not giving us all these subheading for like having numerous subheadings. So you can see welcome to the world of air frying, where seek the light makes healthy cooking. In this introductory section, we will embark on a journey of just read through. If you don't like what it gives you, you regenerate again. You can just come here and hit this roll over. You can this recycle button, so it's going to regenerate a new one for you. Or if you just still like it, you can, another thing you can do is come here, edit it, and then just send again, save and continue again. Then, or you can tell it to, you can try to tweak the prompt again, or to say make it more detailed. You can see this one is even more detailed. So let's go through this and see. Please always try. What I like to do is once I'm getting those content generated, I quickly read through even before I copy it, so I'm not copying the wrong thing or something that is just vague. Right? I don't just copy and paste and then say I'll come and read it later, I'll proofread later. The thing is, most times when you say you'll proofread later, you don't always get the time to go back and proofread later. You just get excited when you see your document or your manuscript is looking good. I just want to go and publish without proofreading. Please, so I recommend you proofread even from here before copying. Welcome to the world of air frying. It explains this. We embark on the journey of imagine achieving that perfect golden crunch without the need to of excessive oil or deep frying. It goes down to say in this cookbook we dive into the essentials of air frying, from choosing the right air fryer for your need to mastering essential tips and techniques for your air frying success. We'll learn how to, so all these things we're going to learn. That is saying it's going to learn, we're going to learn in this section. Please make sure it is in the section. If you go back to the table of content, you notice that it is not in the section. You are the driver of this boat, oh, you are the pilot. So he's saying getting started with air frying essential tips. Okay, they are here. So if they were not here, what we would have done is while he's listing all those things out, make sure that it's syncing with your table of content. If it's not there and your introduction is saying that it is there, then you have to include it. If you're saying that you're going to have essential tips on how to master air frying, you're going to learn how to unleash the full potential of air fryer and the likes. If it is not in your table of content, then this is the time to quickly go and add it, so that your introduction is not now deviating from what is in your table of content. I know you understand what I'm trying to say in details. So if you like this, I'm not saying I like this. If I were me, I would read through everything. If it were me, if it was for publishing purpose, I would read through everything and ensure it meets my standard before using it. So what you want to do is come down here and you paste it. And I don't like having numbering in my table of contents, so I just leave it like this. Come here, copy again, then I come here and keep the paste, so I have the first thing here on my list. So you're going to repeat this, so you take this off. Imagine if I didn't come out to check. When you take this off, what you want to do before you proceed, you want to put this in. Since this is your introduction, put it on H1, and this is how it looks. This is how it looks. Let me print preview. Let me put it on print layout. You can see how it looks. Let me put it in. Some people, you can try to go with capital. You can decide to capitalize your table of content, your headings, title, and like I mean by putting it on capital letter like this, right? And you can try to do the other. We just use the first letters to be capital letters, right? So you can try to do this introduction. It depends on you, on your formatting. You can just go and check what's the standard, right? I'm not teaching the standard here, and so don't judge by this. So this is the introduction. The next thing we have is getting started. You can set to page break, or you just put it on subheading under introduction. So I mean I want to do that, but nonetheless I want to actually copy. We head over to, I would have just page break, but because it's not so below, it's also downward in the document, so we want to hit next on to, you just keep saying next on to, then paste the next thing, getting started. You can decide to bring it down. Next on to getting started with air frying. You can state that it should give you 500 words for each of those. You can decide to say 1000 words or 1500. Just be specific, be specific, so that you can get enough content. You can be well detailed. So this is another one, the safety, getting started. You quickly read through. Congratulations on taking the next step towards healthier and more. Just read through the first things, unboxing and setting up. Next is understanding the controls, preheating, choosing the right cooking accessories, using oils widely, just the details, the essential tips you need to know. You copy again, come down here, and I like to bring this down first before. So this can be our H2, or it can either be a H1, a new um section, a new chapter. But then because it's too few, I'll just put everything under the introduction, and then we have this. Don't forget, this asterisk will also always come with it. So don't forget that the asterisk will always come with it. And then this, you can see the way this one came. You want to remove this double, then the other one, headings or subheading, this asterisk, instead of removing it from every time you paste it, you just wait until you finish your content, and then you find and replace for all at once, so you're not wasting a lot of time doing find and replace. Because the essence of find and replace is to make your work faster, and then you don't want to start doing it repeatedly. Do you get? So the next thing we want to do is copy the next subheading again under our introduction, then copy, come down here, go over again and say next on to. You just keep doing that depending on your style, what works for you. Try what works for you. This works for me. Sometimes I'm try to tweak it again, but then, you know, this is for the purpose of, this is for the purpose of a video, and I want to use a particular format so that I'm not confusing you. So use what works for you, right? When you just say next on to, then paste the second subheading you have, or the title, whatever you have, on your next slide, on your next section of the book. Do what works for you. There's no one way fits all for any prompting, and just do what works for you based on your own content, what you're getting, and choose it. You can try a lot of different method and stick to the one that works best. Don't forget, always come back here to remove this excess heading. And then the other thing you need to do is, you should also know that removing this asterisk. You get? So the next thing we want to go to is, yeah, we have the recipe section. So this is going to be another heading one. Don't forget, I have preset this setup by H1 and H2 from my laptop. And don't forget, I said you can either leave it like this, breakfast recipe, having the B with the first letters of the each word with capital letter, or you can decide to put all on capital letter. But I think this looks better. So I'll just do this. The next thing you want to do is, okay, so you're saying four because it's numbering them from the introductory aspect. So we want to remove all this numbering. We don't want them. This is not four. This is 13. This is our first recipe, so it will be one. But then even know you can decide to put recipe one, or you can decide to put just number one, two. But then you can also decide not to put anything. Anybody that is in the first recipe knows is the number one recipe. So it all depends on you what you want to do. If it were me, I like to remove them, this numbering. Sometimes I like to have them starting from one to, I can say, okay, this is 8 recipes, 1 to 8. So 8 breakfast, you can know this is this has 8 breakfasts. And then when I get to lunch again, I start numbering from one, and I can start also continue to the 30th recipe, or 35th, or 40th, any number of recipes you have in total. So but for this purpose of this tutorial, I don't want to have any numbering. So what you want to do is you want to put all these recipes. You want to apply a page break so that each recipe will be on a new page, so that your work can look, sorry about that, so each recipe will be in a new page so that your work, my apologies, I don't know. So what I'm trying to say is that I like to put each recipe on a new page so my work can look professionally edited or formatted. So what you want to do is apply page break on each of the recipes before you even start working on them. That means you have to work on each recipes one after the other. Some people like to just group them, just copy all the recipes together like this, and generate content for them. That is also good. That means instead of putting page break and then pasting each of the recipes one after the other, you want to do the 8 at once so that it's faster. You can do it, but just make sure that it's detailed enough. And then when you now paste it, you now start putting the page break after you are through. So we want to let's do that style so that you can be fast for the purpose of this tutorial. Yeah, so I head over to, now we are heading to the next. Before we head, let's go and check our prompts. I don't want to forget. So let's say next on, inside the next heading or subheading. Okay, then say next on to. Then the next thing is, now let's proceed to the recipe chapters, starting with the breakfast. Then you put note, continue. This is same prompt, continue until you get to the last recipe in this section. Each recipe should have a short description, so you give it details of how you want your recipes to be. Short description, a prep time, a cook time, servings, nutritional information, ingredients, and preparation instructions. So first thing, you want to copy these prompts, head over to ChatGPT, paste the prompt. When you paste the prompt, you want to come back, to come back and do this. Create a space and come and paste your recipe here. Come and paste your recipe here, down here. So now go to the recipe, copy them again, copy them again, copy them again, then come here and paste it in between this prompt. Don't forget, you paste it in between the first prompt, which is a breakfast recipe, starting with the breakfast recipes. You can even decide to remove this so you don't forget and leave it there in the prompt. So just come here and say yes, now this one has breakfast recipe, and then this note will be down. Once you put the first one, it will already know for the next subsequent one. But then you can also decide to include it for every single time you are pasting a new recipe section, like for lunch. An error occurred. So let's just redo it again. Okay, so, okay, it's already what the next one. So it's saying the first, what do we have for the first recipe? Classic air fried bacon and egg. So let's see what it says. Classic air fried. Okay, so bacon and egg, bacon and eggs. So description, prep time, cook time, serving, additional information, ingredients, preparation. I don't like the way it's this format. It's not so detailed. So I'll go back and say I want it to be detailed. Let's first of all stop the generation. Let's stop it. We don't want it. Just stop it. Pause it. Then come back to the prompt and say ensure each ensure a detailed ensure each recipe content is detailed detailed enough, or just detailed, just anything, just I know you will know what to do next. You don't have to follow the same method I'm using. This is just like a sample. You can see now it has categorized them into introduction and description. Then it cuts, like you can see the spacing to the prep time, cook time, serving, and then next to nutrition. So for serving is for two, the nutritional information, ingredients, and instruction. Right. So would you like to continue to the next recall recipe? Yes, continue. So you can try to do that for each, or you just say you should continue until the last one. So what you want to do is start copying. You copy the first recipe like this. Let you try the others. It will ask us to, yes, you can say next. Sometimes it gives all together. So it depends on what you are getting as the output. If you don't like the output in singling, you can try to do it individually. You can try to do them in groups. Just try to continue continue until the last recipe in this section. So I believe now to give it to continue to the last recipe. You just have to hit sometimes it's still telling us yes. Just continue without asking. Sometimes these tools can be frustrating and annoying. I always say you continue and you're still asking questions. So just follow the tempo, follow um the trend it's using to give you the content. Then you copy each of those content. Let's go to the first one, the first recipe. You copy. I don't want to do. I won't be generating all from start to finish. You just keep using the same thing, same method until you get to the last recipe. Copy it. No, copy. Head over to the document. Paste it. Don't forget to give you this post and pre ChatGPT responses. You want to remove it, and also don't also forget that of course this will give you a repetitive heading, and all this description asterisks will be removing them. So just do all the recipes, paste all the recipes. You can put the page break like I said earlier. So you are now mixing them up. Put all the recipes. When you are through with all these recipes, you head over to the next one and say and replace this lunch with the breakfast that is in the initial prompt. Yeah, I'm coming. In this initial prompt, you replace it with this. Just come here, go to edit, replace this breakfast with lunch. Just paste it like this, and still maintain. You must have removed this numbering because we don't have numbering the initial ones. So do you understand? You just paste and then continue until you get to the conclusion. When you get to the conclusion, you just hit conclusion. Tell it to give you a conclusion, then it gives you copy and paste. When you are done with everything, you will now come to the document and come and find and replace all the asterisk. Find and replace everything you don't want. Asterisk, even this description, I like to find and replace. So first and foremost, I would like to find and replace this description with the space there. So that this A can now come forward. I just come here, find and replace, paste this zero occurrences apart from okay because of the spacing I have. Do we just okay? I've only just pasted one. So if you have other ones, it will just tell you this is the only one. So let's just replace the if you really have one of this. So there's no need to find a replace because it's just one. So but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove this, right, so that I just have a description. You don't have to put description per se. So when you're through, you find and replace the asterisk. Don't forget to find and replace the asterisk. So we clean this up, put the asterisk, find and replace. First of all, you have to find by searching and then replace all with nothing and then say replace all. And then we have this. Another thing I like to do is this. It now leaves us with this in front of the recipes. I don't like them to be like that, having that. So I also want to find and replace that, put a space so that it's no it's removing the spaces, and then this can start from the margin. Then you replace all. After replacing, what you now want to do is replace with nothing. Instead of having it like this, what you want to do is you format it, make it neat by doing probably this. Put them in bullet points and doing this. And for the instruction, if you already have them in numbering, you can decide to put them in normal numbering, and just depends on you. When I meant normal numbering, it's just like inserting numbering like this, the automatic numbering like this, right? So then you can also decide to do things like this, having this one in bolding this, then the headings um of each of them. It depends on you what you want. You can even decide to take this to Canva and go and design, make your work in a on Canva in a more beautiful um what am I going to say now? Template, Canva templates, recipe, all these recipe cards. You can try to use it for your book interior. It doesn't have to be these simple ones. Sometimes I use these simple ones because it's not doesn't have a lot of colors and it's not so complicated. So the print cost is usually lesser than the ones that have this picture on the background, color, the ones that are more colorful, and they like the kind of the aesthetic ones on Canva, right? So you want to do all this to make your work look neat, and then you can see what we eventually have. You have the first recipe, next recipe, you do the same for it until you have the last one, making sure that each recipe starts on a new page. Like this one now, this is a new page. You use a new page, you put it on heading 2, H2. This is a new page. The recipe will come below this. Then the next one is this one, also go to a new page, and then you continue like that until you get to the very last thing recipe here. Don't forget to remove the numbering. Also depends on you. Just make sure you proofread your work, let it look professional. Someone should not be able to look at your work and think it's a joker that did it. Then don't let people judge your book by the way it looks, by its quality. Then the last thing you want to do is the conclusion. When you're through, just say give me a conclusion. Let's go to the prompt again. Where is the prompt document? Let's go to the prompt document. This prompt document. Let's see what's okay. So write the conclusion for this book, and this will be our last prompt. When you're through, you now format your work, make sure it's good. If you are just new to formatting and you still are not sure of your work, you can try to send it to the to the community now, what on our WhatsApp community. Send it in and ask for approval, for so that we can help you review it. I and other publishers we have people that are already doing well in this already, so they can help you go through your document and see if it's okay, if it meets the standard, then they can tell you to go ahead. Otherwise, they'll make corrections and tell you to implement those corrections before you proceed to publishing that book. And then don't forget, you have your Kindle version and paperback version. And the Kindle version will have a table of contents with page numbering, and the paperback version, the paperback will have table of content with page numbering, while the Kindle will have the clickable table of contents with ink, the one that is with the one that you insert ink in, the one that comes up appears in blue. Sorry about that. So the table of contents for the paperback will have page numbering, and then the Kindle will be clickable without page numbering. So I think we'll be doing another video, which will be the part 3 of this video in a new. We started doing a part 3, right? With so that I will finish up this document, this content generation for this very one. I'll finish it up and then continue the next lesson, show you how the formatting is finally done, and how to add recipe pictures to your work. After formatting, you have to add, each recipe should have a recipe picture, because a lot of people complain, a lot of customers complain there are no pictures in the cookbooks, and as in for other people that have seen the reviews, and they don't seem to like it. Since they are paying for it, they should see pictures of what they are going to prepare, to see the final results before they start. So I'll show you how to put pictures, getting pictures from Canva, if you're using the Canva Pro. Otherwise, you can get from Pixabay and Pixel, right? So you add pictures to each of those recipes, and then you will add the table of content, and our manuscript is ready for publication. Then hopefully we'll go to the next thing. But until then, I'll just work on this document, finish it up, and then show you the outcome in the next part of this tutorial. So thank you so much for joining me on this lesson, the part 2 of generating your content with ChatGPT, and see you in the next lesson. If you have questions, don't forget to join the community and ask your questions, or you can also drop it in the comment section. I'll go through, and then probably before the next session I'll go through the comment section and then pick those questions and then address them in the next lesson. And then please don't forget to also like this video if you find it helpful, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share with your friends and relatives that you think will find it helpful. Thank you so much again for joining me on this tutorial series. I remain Hannah, and see you in the next lesson. Don't forget to implement. If you have questions, also ask. Thank you once again, and see you in the next one.